50 years ago, Malaysia looked like many developing countries. It exported raw materials, relied heavily on commodities, and faced deep ethnic tensions. Few people expected it to become one of Southeast Asia's economic success stories. Yet today, Malaysia has one of the highest living standards in the region. Modern cities, advanced industries, a strong manufacturing base, and an economy that exports everything from palm oil to semiconductors, which raises an intriguing question. How did Malaysia succeed where many resource rich countries failed? Because Malaysia's greatest resource wasn't buried underground, it was something far more valuable: pragmatism. History is filled with countries blessed with resources and cursed by them. Oil, gold, copper, diamonds. These often create dependence, corruption, and economic stagnation. Economists call this the resource curse. Malaysia had plenty of natural wealth: rubber, tin, palm oil, natural gas, oil. But unlike many countries, Malaysia never relied entirely on one thing. Its leaders understood something important. Resources create opportunity, but industries create prosperity, and prosperity requires diversification. Many people assume oil made Malaysia rich, but manufacturing transformed Malaysia, especially electronics. Today, Malaysia is one of the world's major exporters of semiconductor. In fact, many chips inside everyday devices pass through Malaysia at some stage. This is one of the least appreciated facts in global trade. Malaysia quietly became an important link in the technology supply chain without attracting much attention. Sometimes, the most important players are the ones nobody talk about. This wasn't an accident. Malaysia deliberately created conditions attractive to investors: political stability, infrastructure, ports, industrial zones, skilled workers, and access to Asian markets. Companies from Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Europe, and America began setting up factories, and every factory brought jobs, skills, knowledge, and technology. Malaysia understood something profound. Investment isn't just about money, it's about learning. Here's something fascinating. Many countries view successful neighbors as threat. Malaysia benefited from one: Singapore. At first glance, they seem like rivals, but economically, they have become deeply connected. Singapore evolved into a financial hub. Malaysia became a manufacturing hub. One attracted capital, the other attracted production. Together, they formed one of Southeast Asia's most powerful economic partnerships. Competition existed, but cooperation created wealth. No discussion of Malaysia is complete without Mahathir Mohamad. Love him or criticize him, his influence is impossible to ignore. He pushed industrialization, major infrastructure projects, and long-term economic planning. His vision wasn't merely to sell resources, it was to build industries. And although not every policy succeeded, his ambitions transformed Malaysia's trajectory. Sometimes history changes because of geography, and sometimes because of leadership. Many countries grow quickly, then stagnate. Cheap labor stops being enough, but innovation remains weak. Economists call this the middle income trap. Escaping it is incredibly difficult. Malaysia hasn't fully escaped this challenge, but it has managed something remarkable. It avoided the worst outcome that trapped many developing economies, which explains why Malaysia constantly ranks among the most successful middle-income nations. Most people think rich countries become rich because they possess extraordinary advantages, but Malaysia suggests something different. Success often comes from avoiding catastrophic mistakes. No major wars, no extreme ideology, no complete dependence on one resource, no reckless innovation. Sometimes prosperity isn't created by genius, sometimes it's created by discipline, and discipline is much less glamorous. but often much more powerful. Malaysia's story isn't really about oil or palm oil or even semiconductors. It's about balance. Because throughout history, nations that adapt, diversify, and remain pragmatic often outperform those blessed with greater resources. And perhaps that's why Malaysia's rise offers one of the most underrated lessons in economics. Because wealth isn't always built by extraordinary decisions, sometimes it's built by avoiding disastrous ones.